Hi everyone, Kristen Brockman here, your trusted DFW realtor, and I keep hearing that the housing market is going to crash. The housing market is not going to crash. So I'm hearing this from buyers who want to buy a house. However, they have this feeling, this fear that the housing market is going to crash like it did in 2008. So let's talk about 2008 a little bit. I worked in the mortgage industry in 2008 when we did have a housing market crash. Actually, I saw the writing on the wall, so I quickly got out. So I was not there for the actual crash, but I saw it coming. Um, and it was brutal. So basically, what was going on then were the lenders were just giving out loans to anybody and everybody. It didn't matter your income, it didn't matter your credit score, it didn't matter your debt to income ratio. It didn't, none of that mattered. Oh, you want to buy a house? Cool. Here you go. Here's a house. That's basically what happened. And so people were getting into these houses and they could not afford them. And um, fast forward to 2025. And I can only speak on DFW because I am licensed and I work in DFW. Um, DFW has a very strong housing market. And yes, there are foreclosures. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh my gosh, everybody's great. Of course, there are going to be foreclosures, and sometimes foreclosures are unavoidable. Sometimes there's a traumatic family event that happened, like a medical emergency or a job loss or a death in the family. And those are unfortunate, and uh, they're unable to pay their mortgage after those events. And what's important is when those events happen is to start talking to your mortgage company, maybe talk to a trusted realtor, to see what your options are. I'm a planner, so I always like to see what my options are, and hope worst case scenario, and hopefully it doesn't get there, but if it does, let's have a plan for it. But sometimes the foreclosures happen just because, let's be honest, some people are really bad with their money and they spend more than they make and they're not paying their mortgage first, because they went out and got a $6,000 car payment or what have you. And yes, you need a car, but so the reason why 2008 won't happen again is because more stricter guidelines have been put into place for these lenders. And I've been seeing it firsthand. These people, the borrowers sometimes complain because of how much the underwriters are asking for, but they're asking for this information to make sure that you can afford this house that they are going to lend you the hundreds of thousands of dollars for. All right. So I know sometimes it's frustrating. Like, why do they need this? Or I already gave this to them. Why do they need it again? They're asking for that information to make sure 2008 does not happen again. That to make sure that you can afford this home, to make sure that you're not going to foreclose on this home. That is why they're asking for this information. I know it's annoying, it's frustrating, but that's why they're asking for it. With all that said, 2008 won't happen again. And if that's what you're waiting on, you might be waiting a while. So right now is actually a great time to buy in the DFW market. Again, I can only speak on DFW. So if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, I'm sorry, I don't know about that market, but I know about DFW. And it is a great time to buy. There's a lot of inventory out there. There's affordable houses. There are low interest rates. And it just takes a knowledgeable realtor and lender to help guide you through the process. So, with that said, I would love to guide you through the process, the home buying process. 2008 won't happen again. And I want to ensure that you work with a lender who will take care of you and will not give you a loan that you cannot afford. But I'd love to guide you through the process. So, if you have any questions, please comment below, like, subscribe, comment, and I hope you're having a great day. Take care.